What's good, guys? M.V.K here, back again. Welcome back to another reaction vid today for you guys. You know, it's pretty cool to kind of get back into the swing of reaction vids. I haven't done them in a while, but yeah, man. So, I'm a big animal lover, and the one thing that will always amaze me about certain animals is just how big they can get. And I think a lot of people can attest to that as well, like just seeing how big they can get. So we're going to check out this video called 35 Biggest Creatures Ever Captured. Okay, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what animals are on this list and how big they can get. But this should be a lot of fun and kind of scary in a sense, because to know just how big they can get. But like I said, you forget, like in certain places animals can get that big. You know, if they're not disturbed or anything, they got a good source of food and all kinds of stuff, yeah, they can get big like that. So I'm good. I'm hoping to be a little shocked at some of these animals, but I may question some of them if I'm like, okay, that could be something, you injected something into it. Especially if it's a domestic animal, then I might say so, maybe. But let's check this out. Thank you for hitting that play button. 35 biggest creatures ever captured. Let's do this. Thank you for hitting that play button. I hope you get your entertainment's worth. As always, let's do this. Booyah. Now.
Dinosaurs were once the largest creatures on Earth, but now
that's Jurassic World.
Any animal.
Whoa!
And while you might expect that from certain species, others will come as a total surprise. We're gonna show you the biggest animals ever caught on camera, and you're definitely gonna emerge from this experience
Did you see how big that?
new phobias. So
was that gator or
subscribe to the channel and click the bell while you still can. Here's how the largest crocodile in captivity gets his breakfast. He's 5.48 meters long, not counting the portion missing from his tail. And this is Brutus. Yeah. He's also 5.5 meters long, weighs 2 tons, and likes to eat sharks. But the largest croc ever is the legendary Lo Long, who measures 6 meters in length. It took 100 people to catch him. Remember when we warned you that if you didn't subscribe, you'd find one of these in your bed? This centipede grows up to 42 centimeters in length and can have as many as 382 legs. Trust me, they can run very fast. This giant lion makes a 146.5
That is a big boy right there.
Look tiny. Just imagine the driver's reaction when a 300-kilogram lion walks by.
How big he is!
Meanwhile, the largest one weighed 375 kilograms and was 3 meters long. No wonder it eats 2.5 tons of meat per year.
What's a big boy?
The average kangaroo weighs about 60 kilograms. This one is apparently dabbling in steroids.
Look how jacked he is!
Give me back my protein powder. The beast before you is an Ankole Watusi bull, which can weigh up to 730 kilograms. That's 9 times the weight of the average man. It's so important for them to show their strength, but their horns grow insanely
large.
Their
neck must be extremely strong.
To 1.8 meters, about as long as a full-sized bed, and each weighs as much as a supermodel. The record holder was a bull named Pancho Villa, whose massive horns weighed 3 meters across.
Look how big he is! Look at those horns!
What happens when a Watusi bull falls in love with a unicorn? Something like this. Each of its horns is about 1
That's real.
meter
Is that real?
long.
That is real.
3 guitars on its head, and I wouldn't want to play with any of them. And this is why Batman wears underwear over his suit. All joking aside, golden-crowned flying foxes really exist and have wingspans of 170 centimeters. That's as tall as Angelina Jolie. They only eat fruit, but that doesn't make it any less terrifying. This turtle may seem huge because of the camera angle, but the leatherback turtle really is.
Yeah, leatherback turtles get big.
It holds the record at 2.6 meters.
Yeah, they get big. I know that for a fact.
Meanwhile, this 200-year-old Alhambra tortoise has grown a 120-centimeter long shell. So now, imagine how old this sea turtle must be.
Jesus.
Its head is half the length of a diver. Typical roosters don't grow any taller than a coffee table,
Yeah.
about 60 centimeters. But this giant is 1 meter tall.
That's gotta be steroids. No way. Jeez,
Now,
that's
you
a
know
big
why this guy
rooster.
from Top Gun took the call sign Rooster. Who needs a dog when you can get a hefty Goliath bird eater the size of
Bird
a large
eater.
man's
That's the
hand?
spider.
All you'll have to do is feed it,
Feed it
birds.
birds.
But if you need something bigger, head straight to Australia, where you'll find a 30-centimeter huntsman spider.
Huntsman
Thor
spider.
approves. Or you could always just find a pet on some girl's back. Just please don't poke it with a sharp.
If you have
This
arachnophobia,
guy-
then this is not good
We
for
get
you.
it. That
I
tarantula
don't.
is enormous.
I'm not scared of spiders.
When this guy got a puppy, he
Woo!
couldn't have
That's
imagined
gotta
that
be
it
a
would grow into
Kangol.
a 2-meter giant. Like this man, whose dog is already 1.5 times
That's
his
gotta be a
size.
Kangol.
This big boy's name is Don Bison.
That's
and
a
his record weight
Caucasian
is
Shepherd right
103
there.
kilograms. I'm not so sure that
I
the owner is
believe,
the one
yeah.
walking him. And at this point, I refuse to believe this isn't actually a polar bear.
It's a big boy.
Opal frontera, whose height is 167 centimeters.
How big
could
that
easily
moose
pass
is.
right
Moose get
under
big.
this
They get big.
moose. That's because these animals stand 3 meters tall at the withers and weigh up to 800 kilograms. Plus, it has the largest antlers of any mammal and the
I don't agree
record at a
with this,
span of
but-
188 centimeters. This huge Tasmanian crab weighs 6.8 kilograms and has a shell with a diameter of 38 centimeters.
Damn, that's a
100
big
times
crab.
bigger than a standard UK shore crab, or enough to make 160 crab cakes.
All the
in a
meat
day.
is in them claws. I'm
If
sorry.
you thought rats were only scary because of their numbers, you were wrong. The real problem starts when they get bigger than cats.
They're big as a
reaching lengths
cat!
of 40 centimeters, not including the tails. Looking at this huge squid,
Giant
now I know how
squid.
they came up with Cthulhu. Nah, I'm just joking. He's real. One of these big guys weighs 163 kilograms,
Giant
but this
squids.
one is half a ton and 11.8 meters long, 1.5 times the height of a giraffe.
Remember when we always thought
It's
they were
amazing
fake?
that it wasn't Hercules who caught this half-ton, 2-meter-long wild boar, but they can get even bigger than that. Check out these
Yeah, I know that
giants.
for a fact.
That's
My
right,
dad got
they are
chased by one of
8
these
times
when he
bigger
was in the
than a
military,
human,
so-
and sometimes
Yeah,
they can
that's-
be found in the
looks
most
fake.
unexpected places.
That's real.
This is what the biggest catfish ever caught looks like. It took fishermen
River
40
monster
minutes to
right here,
reel in
boy.
this 2.6
Look at that
meter
big
guy
catfish.
and measure his record-breaking 128
Wow,
kilograms.
280 pounds.
Imagine an anaconda as wide as a MacBook swimming under your boat. I would have just
Anacondas.
ended the cruise immediately, but this couple decided to take a closer look. Jesus, the anacondas don't usually grow more than 5 meters long and don't typically
How big is this?
sunbathe.
It's gotta be a 20
There are
footer.
exceptions to every rule. These snakes spend most of their lives underwater,
water?
venturing
Yeah.
out on land only to hunt. Although they could just eat divers.
Wait a minute.
Anacondas are so huge that a giant crane is needed to lift them, and the biggest anaconda ever recorded in Brazil measured 6 meters long
knew
and
it.
weighed over
I knew it,
250
man.
kilograms.
And that's
if you
all
try to drag-
muscle, too.
But this giant is
Oh,
rushing in
giant
to give
condor.
his amigo a hug. The wingspan of a condor can reach 320 centimeters with a body length of 135 centimeters. That makes it the largest bird in the West. This fisherman's reaction when he realizes he's caught a 3-meter monster fish. But that's nothing compared to a 100-year-old white sturgeon at
That's a sturgeon.
352
Yeah, them sturgeons get
centimeters
big.
that only took 25 minutes to catch. However, the
Fucking
biggest
monster.
beluga sturgeon ever was caught in 1922 at a record 7 meters long and weighing 1,490 kilograms. That's twice as heavy as a cow. How big does a wolf need to be?
I
to
seen
make a
this video.
60
Yeah, this
centimeter
big
tall
wolf.
dog look like a puppy? Well, let's find out as we take a look at this
Look how
guy's
pretty he
huge
looks.
Canadian
Look how pretty he
wolf.
looks.
An adult specimen of this species can reach up to 160 centimeters long and weigh 90 kilograms. The largest one ever caught was a northwestern wolf trapped in Alaska in 1939 that measured 175 centimeters long.
That's a big wolf.
Next to this fish, a 1.94 meter diver.
what type of fish is that called? I
positively
forgot what it's
shrinking.
called, but yeah,
It's
they big.
3 meters wide and 4.3 meters long.
I forget what you call
The
them.
largest mola mola weighed
Oh,
as
mola
much as
mola.
1,600 kilograms and was caught back in 1910. The last thing you would expect to run into
Siberian
on the
tiger.
road is a 3
World's
meter
biggest
or
cat.
tiger weighing 300 kilograms. The only thing bigger is a Siberian tiger, which in terms of size is the closest to a saber tooth. But the largest cat on record was named Jaipur, who measured 3.32 meters and 423 kilograms. A polar bear went down in history as the largest of its kind at a height of over 3 meters and a weight of a whole ton. That's like 3 Harley-Davidson
ancient
bikes.
polar bear?
But brown bears can also be so huge that they need special equipment. For example, this giant weighed 680 kilograms and was 2.5 meters tall, and it clearly didn't lose a fight with DiCaprio. Random fact number 155. Carps grow throughout their lives. So for this 68-kilo fish to get this big, it would have taken several decades. This river giant weighs 75 kilograms, but it's far from the largest carp in history, which weighed 105 kilograms. That's a whole Aquaman.
Okay.
A liger is a hybrid between a lioness and a tiger.
Yeah, but they're only made in captivity, and they're not. They don't have good health either.
An incredible 408 kilograms, and he's nearly 365 centimeters long. That's taller than a double-decker tour bus. Now meet Nook, who weighed a whopping 550 kilograms at a length of 396 centimeters. That's like 2 sedans. Believe it or not, the world's largest cow weighs over 2 tons.
What the?
Like a rhinoceros. This
that looks like a rhino.
That's
gotta be steroids.
Tall, and
no way is that
legit. Around it.
That's gotta be steroids.
This is an Atticus atlas, the biggest butterfly in the world, with a wingspan of 30 centimeters. That's a foot-long Subway sandwich, folks. It's so huge that you can't even see the guy's face behind it. These memes don't seem so funny anymore. Imagine what it's like to swim next to a giant 5-meter manta ray weighing 3 tons.
Woo!
But even that's not nearly as chilling as swimming between 2 of them with a combined length of 14 meters.
That's scary. That would be kind of scary.
Look at how this elephant seal
Yeah, I knew that was an elephant seal.
To avoid it at all costs. After all, they weigh 2 tons, like a Dodge Charger. And these hooligans stole somebody's yacht from the pier and nearly sunk it with their weight.
Look at all that weight. All that blubber.
This is an enormous 50-year-old lobster with claws bigger than a man's hand.
Look at this lobster!
This lobsters can grow endlessly. This guy was lucky to have caught a 100-year-old one as tall as he was. And this 10-kilogram lobster was saved from the frying pan by a kind woman. For $200, he gets to go back to the ocean.
Mostly the fishermen will put those big boys back in the water. They don't.
Big Jake is officially the tallest horse
in
the world. He's 210 centimeters tall and weighs as much as
other horse in the back are big too. What breed is that?
Is a little
that looks like a Clydesdale.
195 centimeters.
So they get big.
$315 worth of food per day.
Man.
That's enough to buy 2 electric cars a year. But why buy an electric car when you have Toby the Percheron? He's just as tall and can pull logs weighing over 2 tons. It took over 40 minutes to subdue this Russian blue marlin weighing 554 kilograms, and it also took all the men in the village to drag it to the scale. But this 700-kilogram marlin caught in Hawaii was 5 meters long and nearly broke the world record set in 1953 by Alfred Glassell Jr. when he caught a marlin weighing 707 kilograms. A fish the size of a giraffe.
That's crazy.
Wow. Here's how a 180-kilogram gorilla
that's
drinks.
300 pounds.
Now, you've definitely seen everything.
Almost 400 pounds, you know, right?
A mountain gorilla named Senkwekwe from the Virunga National Park in the Congo weighed 250 kilograms and was just under 2 meters tall.
Mad Labs, yo, those are some big boys. I mean, I've seen my share of big animals, like when I go upstate. I've seen some big deer, some very big deer up there. I've probably seen, when I was upstate New York, I've seen huge raccoons, like huge, like bigger than, they look like bigger than mini dogs. Like they're just so big. I was like, geez, that's a big boy compared to the raccoons that I see around my neighborhood. But yeah, I've seen some big animals too, but most of the time, like I said, a lot of them I'm not shocked at. Those big sea turtles do get big. I wasn't shocked at how big that sea turtle was that was feeding. His head was so big. Like, yeah, what I was shocked at that cow. That cow was humongous. That's got to be some kind of. What are they feeding? That's got to be steroids or mutation or something. Like same thing with that big rooster. I was like, that looked like it's maybe a mutation or steroids. And then those big horns cow that I saw, like them saying that their horns are like 10 feet in length. Like, you gotta believe these cows got like humongous neck strength, because those look just heavy. That looks like heavy on them, like the big horns that they got. The kangaroo I wasn't too shocked at, because those big red kangaroos get about 6 feet tall, but you forget just how jacked up they are. Like when they stand up and they just like that, you're like, geez, look at his arms. Like it's ridiculous just how strong they are. That lion was humongous. I was like, that lion was nearly as big as that car. That was crazy. And it's kind of funny because the big what is those like the salvo lions from that Colonel Patterson had to deal with in Africa, they were huge too. Like they made a movie about them and everything. But yeah, I'm not surprised at that. The giant centipede, I know, is another one. The croc, I'm not shocked at either. You know, crocs can get real big. And those dogs, those look like Kangals. Kangals get big, and so does Caucasian shepherds get big. The moose, same thing. The moose, I was not shocked at. Moose get really big. That crab was humongous. Could you imagine that thing clamping down on you? That's crazy. The rat. Look, I don't hate rats, but I got a little about rats a little bit, like. And you think, oh, Chris, but you live in New York. Yeah, but I don't be seeing them as much, and they're big. But that rat was as big as that cat. You know, that's crazy. But I've seen some videos like the big Gambian rat, like dude, that sniff out bombs. That's crazy. The squid, I'm not surprised at. The wild boar, that's what I want to talk about. Wild boars get big. And my father, when he was in the military, overseas, he dealt with them. Him and his unit got chased by a herd of them, like a group of them. And as big as they are, they're very stealthy. They can sneak up on you, and you wouldn't even know they're there until you turn around and you see this big pig standing behind you. My dad told me the story. It was him and a couple of his other units. They were out chucking, and it was him, his sergeant, and a few others. And they were out in the nighttime, so they couldn't see it. So they had night vision on. They were walking through the woods, and my dad said he kept hearing something coming up behind them, and they turned around, they didn't see anything. And all of a sudden, he saw like two of them just come out and start coming after them. They ran, and my dad climbed up a tree, and unfortunately they couldn't shoot, because even you discharging your weapon, you gotta account for that. So. And he said his sergeant got cornered by one and he fell into a ditch and he was screaming for help. So yeah, it was crazy to hear that. But the giant catfish, I've seen Jeremy Wade on River Monsters catch that. Same thing with the sturgeons. The sturgeons get huge. They're like mini dinosaurs. The anaconda, I was not surprised that 20-foot long. They can get big, especially if they're not disturbed. The condors, same thing. They get big. The wolf, I was a little shocked at that, saying there was a wolf that grew like 6 feet tall. That's crazy. And the mahi-mahis, those big fish, mahi-mahos. The tiger, same thing. I wasn't shocked at Siberian tigers. They get big. They have the world's biggest cat. And the bears, that picture of there's a bear from the past that it was called the short-faced grizzly bear that got huge on his feet. I think it was like 14 feet long, 14 feet tall, and it was one of the main reasons why people were scared to cross the Bering Strait, you know, into leaving from Russia into in Alaska. Because that bear was always in that was that bear's territory. So go look it up. You know, if you see what I'm talking about, to imagine to see something like that coming at you is ridiculous. Polar bears, of course, are the biggest bear species, I believe, in currently right now. But yeah, the brown bears and grizzly bears, or the big Kodiaks, they get big, and so they can get big. I'm not shocked at that. The other one I wanted to talk about, the other one I really wanted to talk about was the stingray was crazy. That big manta ray, they look alien, but still pretty. But imagine seeing two of them coming at you, and then they go up. Like, just can you imagine how big? Look how big they were with that diver. The one I wanted to talk about was the liger. Yes, ligers are real. Yes, there is a liger, and the liger they showed in this video is a liger that occupies Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. There's a sanctuary for him, and he's big. He is big, but ligers are not made in captivity. I mean, in the wild, they're made in captivity. That's what happens when you crossbreed a tiger and a lion. So they do get big, but they have a lot of health issues because of their size, and it's very sad at times. But yeah, they're very big. I'm not surprised at the elephant seals. Elephant seals get huge, and I was jokingly all that blubber, but yeah, all that blubber, that's blubber. That is blubber. You know, everybody, you know, you look at seals, but elephant seals, and then of course there's the big leopard seals that hunt. Like, those are dangerous seals, and then of course you got the big walrus. They get huge too. So I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at the lobsters. The horse, I'm thinking that's a Clydesdale, that because they get big, but that other one was not a Clydesdale, but you can see how big he was. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of them didn't shock me too much. I was just how big they were, you know. And once again, you know, some of these animals just get big, and you forget this is a modern day version of. Imagine what they were like, their ancestors were like in the past, like what they probably got, how big they got back in the days, you know, when there weren't a lot of humans around and stuff like that. But, you know, I didn't care for watching those hunters with that bear. I was like, what'd you shoot it for? Like, they killed the bear. What it do to you? I don't hate hunting, okay? I don't, to a degree. If you're hunting for sport, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not. But if you're hunting, let's say you hunt more to live off the land, you hunt fresh, you know, venison and stuff, okay. As long as you use all of the resources of the animal, I have no problem with it, to a degree. I know there is especially here in New York, you know, especially further up north, there is a time when they have to hunt deer because the population, to keep the population in group, because deer are dangerous, and when I mean dangerous, meaning when they crossing highways and they get hit, you know. So yeah, but I wasn't a big fan of seeing the bears get killed, and, you know, things like that. But you know, even the fish at times, but most of the time, those people that catch it are from like villages, and that's going to feed the entire village. I have no problem with that. But yeah, guys, you guys tell me in the comment section below, what did you think about these big boys? These guys were huge. These animals were big, and could you imagine you're underwater in a river, and all of a sudden, out from the river, here come an anaconda, and just swims right by you, like, what's up? like, you know, I think people forget anacondas stay most of the time in the water. They don't stay on land. They just come on land to hunt. But yeah, that catfish was crazy. That's just crazy. Well, like I said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys another time with another reaction. Thank you for watching. I said that like 3 times. But as always, this is my Vernonkid saying peace from us. Stay tuned, keep it real, guys. Stay safe. I will see you guys next time.